For centuries, the Arctic was a remote, frozen wilderness, more myth than reality. Its endless white expanses and bone-chilling temperatures kept it shrouded in mystery, a place few dared to venture. It was a domain for intrepid explorers and dedicated scientists, not for generals or politicians seeking power. The Arctic was a land of discovery, not of conflict. The thick, impenetrable ice and relentless cold kept it isolated from the world's affairs, acting as a natural barrier to human ambition and influence. But today, that era is over. The Arctic is changing before our eyes. The ice is melting at a rate once thought impossible, transforming the Arctic into a new ocean, one that is increasingly accessible and navigable. This is not just an environmental shift. It's a profound geopolitical one, with consequences that reach far beyond the polar circle. The world's great powers now see the Arctic as a stage for competition, opportunity, and even confrontation. The United States, Russia, and China are all moving quickly to secure their interests, each determined to shape the future of this emerging region. The once silent North now hums with the engines of icebreakers, the activity of survey ships, and the thunder of military drills. Countries are rethinking their maps and strategies for the 21st century, redrawing boundaries and planning for new realities. This essay explores the new Arctic scramble, why it matters, what's at stake, and who's involved in this unfolding drama. We'll examine the promise of new shipping routes, the lure of untapped resources, and the strategies of key nations as they position themselves for advantage. We'll look at the cutting-edge technologies being developed to survive and thrive in this harsh, unpredictable environment. And we'll consider the risks, environmental, political, and military, that come with this new era, and the urgent need for cooperation, diplomacy, and shared responsibility in the face of rapid change. The Arctic's future is no longer a distant concern. It's a global challenge that will affect us all. The race for the top of the world has begun, and its outcome will shape the planet for generations to come. The Arctic's most dramatic transformation is the opening of new sea lanes, a change that is reshaping the map of global trade and navigation. Once blocked year-round by thick, impenetrable ice, the legendary Northwest Passage and the Northern Sea Route are now navigable during the summer months, offering new possibilities for maritime travel. These Arctic shortcuts can reduce travel time between Europe and Asia by up to 40%, bypassing the long and congested Suez Canal route and saving both time and fuel. For shipping companies, this means not only faster deliveries and lower costs, but also the potential to revolutionize global logistics and supply chains. The Arctic is poised to become a major artery for global trade, connecting continents in ways that were once thought impossible. Yet, the region remains extremely dangerous. Floating ice, unpredictable severe storms, and limited infrastructure make navigation risky and challenging for even the most advanced vessels. There are very few deep-water ports or emergency rescue services, and in these remote waters, an accident could quickly become catastrophic, with little hope for rapid assistance. The promise of Arctic shipping is real and enticing, but so are the risks and uncertainties that come with venturing into this harsh environment. Ensuring safe, reliable passage will require massive investment in infrastructure, advanced technology, and unprecedented international cooperation among Arctic nations and global stakeholders. The world must carefully balance the economic opportunities of Arctic shipping with the urgent need to protect fragile ecosystems and ensure the safety of all who travel these waters. The Arctic is no longer just a frozen barrier. It's rapidly becoming a global highway, opening up new frontiers for commerce and connection. But the road ahead is uncertain, and the future of Arctic navigation will depend on how wisely and responsibly the world chooses to proceed. Melting ice is revealing vast natural resources, oil, gas, and minerals. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates the Arctic holds 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural gas. There are also rich deposits of minerals essential for modern technology. As the ice recedes, these resources become more accessible, drawing interest from Arctic and non-Arctic nations alike. Russia is leading the charge, making the Arctic central to its economic strategy. China, hungry for energy and minerals, is eager to gain access. But the Arctic ecosystem is fragile. An oil spill here would be disastrous. The rush for resources pits economic ambition against environmental protection. The world faces a stark choice: exploit the Arctic's riches or preserve its unique wilderness. The Arctic 8, Canada, Denmark, via Greenland, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Russia, Sweden, and the U.S. form the Arctic Council, the region's main forum. For years, the Council focused on science and environmental protection, keeping the peace even during global tensions. But the Arctic's rising strategic value is testing this cooperation. Russia sees the region as vital for security and development, while the U.S. is ramping up its presence. Smaller Nordic countries prioritize sustainability. Enter China, a self-declared near-Arctic state, seeking a role in governance and access to resources. China's Polar Silk Road aims to link Arctic shipping to its Belt and Road Initiative. Its growing presence is changing the region's dynamics, raising concerns among other powers. The U.S. views China's ambitions with suspicion, seeing a new front in great power competition. The old cooperative model is under strain as new players enter the game. No country is more invested in the Arctic than Russia. With the world's longest Arctic coastline, Russia sees the region as both an economic engine and a security buffer. Under Putin, Russia has modernized old Soviet bases, built new ones, and deployed advanced weapons. The Northern Fleet, based on the Kola Peninsula, is Russia's Arctic powerhouse, home to nuclear submarines and new warships. Russia conducts regular military exercises, signaling its determination to control the region. But its strategy isn't just military. Russia is also building ports, icebreakers, and infrastructure to support economic growth. The state-owned Rosatom oversees the Northern Sea Route, and Russia boasts the world's largest fleet of nuclear icebreakers. For Moscow, military and economic development go hand in hand. The goal: a secure, profitable Arctic frontier for decades to come. The U.S. has long been a reluctant Arctic power, focusing more on scientific exploration and environmental research than on military strategy or economic competition. For decades, America's presence in the region was defined by research stations and scientific missions, rather than a robust strategic posture. Its icebreaker fleet is tiny compared to Russia's, which boasts dozens of powerful ships, limiting America's ability to operate year-round or respond quickly to emergencies. But that's starting to change as the U.S. recognizes the growing importance of the Arctic. New Arctic strategies now identify Russia and China as major competitors, and the U.S. is responding by boosting its military presence and investing in new capabilities to protect its interests. Ambitious plans are underway to build a new generation of icebreakers and upgrade key military bases in Alaska and Greenland, ensuring year-round access and rapid response. The U.S. Navy is increasing patrols, conducting more frequent training exercises with allies like Norway and Canada, and preparing for the unique challenges of Arctic operations. Diplomatically, America is re-engaging in the region, reopening consulates, strengthening ties with Arctic nations, and challenging Russia's expansive maritime claims at international forums. The U.S. is still playing catch-up in terms of infrastructure and presence, but the direction is clear and momentum is building. Washington is no longer willing to cede the Arctic to its rivals, signaling a new era of American engagement and determination in the far north. The race for influence is on, and America is stepping up its efforts, determined not to be left behind as the Arctic transforms. The question is whether the U.S. can close the gap with its rivals before the Arctic's future is decided, as melting ice opens new opportunities and risks. The stakes are high, the competition is fierce, and the clock is ticking for America to secure its place in the Arctic. The U.S. is finally taking the Arctic seriously, determined to shape the region's future rather than watch from the sidelines. China's Arctic ambitions are reshaping the region's geopolitics. Though not an Arctic nation, China calls itself a near-Arctic state and pursues influence through science, investment, and diplomacy. It has built research stations, launched ice-breaking expeditions, and invested in mining and infrastructure across the Arctic. China's Polar Silk Road vision links Arctic shipping to its global trade network. While China's approach is peaceful, its activities are closely watched by the U.S. and its allies. Concerns linger about dual-use research and strategic footholds. China's long-term ambitions remain unclear, but its patient strategy ensures it will be a central player. The Arctic's future will be shaped as much by Beijing as by traditional powers. The Arctic's harsh environment demands cutting-edge technology. Nations are investing in powerful icebreakers, like Russia's new nuclear-powered lighter class. Warships and submarines are being adapted for Arctic operations, with reinforced hulls and advanced de-icing systems. Unmanned drones, both underwater and aerial, are revolutionizing Arctic surveillance. On land, new bases like Russia's Arctic trefoil and upgraded radar stations are transforming the landscape. The U.S. and allies are building deep-water ports and improving communications with new polar satellites. Advanced radar and over-the-horizon systems are key to monitoring vast distances. In the Arctic, the nation with the best technology will have the upper hand. The technological race is as fierce as the geopolitical one. Innovation will decide who leads in this new frontier. The Arctic's competition brings risk, military accidents, environmental disasters, and escalating tensions. Yet the region's harshness also demands cooperation. No nation can handle Arctic challenges alone. Search and rescue, disaster response, and scientific research require joint effort. The Arctic Council remains the key forum for dialogue, even as rivalries grow. International law, like UNCLOS, helps manage disputes over territory and resources. The future depends on balancing national interests with shared responsibility. Strengthening rules, arms control, and scientific collaboration are vital. The world must choose: treat the Arctic as a battleground or manage it as a global commons. The stakes are planetary, environmental, economic, and strategic. The only sensible path is cooperation. The Arctic's fate will shape the world's future. The time to act is now.